spice and all that stuff, but it's also about good stick-to-your-ribs meat. Well, let's say stick to your no ribs or boneless ribs.
Boneless, look at this. Oh.
You got it from Bubba's Q. 3 18-ounce boneless ribs in a choice of flavor at a one-time only price. That means that this price goes up at the end of the show, $99.98. If you want all the meat and not pay for all the bones,
that's right,
then here it is. So every one of these is all delicious meat. You eat every single bite. This is the original honey barbecue. No, this is the honey barbecue.
That's right.
This is the original flavor, and this is Chef Rick Roman, who brings to us a lot of great food items on the Q.
I got to tell you, Jane,
Yeah.
I could not be more excited, and I'm honored that Bubba Baker would have me present this product. It's the most genius food thing. I owned a restaurant. I was in the business for over 20 years, and this is the classic baby back rib that they've taken and dry rubbed, marinated, then slowly cooked for 8 to 10 hours over apple wood. But then a patented process that only they do, they remove the bone at the end. So what does that mean? You just said you're getting all meat. Now, I just want to show you something. I'm just using a fork here. This is fork tender. There's no bone. So every single bite is that delicious, slow roasted pork rib, and you're eating just the meat. So who wants the bone? Because at the end of the day, you're not eating the bone, right? You're just eating the meat. So you're getting these beautiful racks, baby racks of rib without the bones, but all that delicious flavor from the bone.
And I love that because the bone, although, you know, it does help with the flavor.
It helps with the flavor.
And when it comes to actually eating it, it kind of gets in the way. Yeah. So the bones are in there when they're being prepared, so the flavor is there, but then they're removed so you don't have to eat around them.
That's
and
right.
I think that just makes so much sense. Could you dive into each of the flavor profiles for us,
so
too?
first of all, both of the sauces are those classic barbecue sauces that are tomato, vinegar, and molasses, okay? Oh, look at that. That is just so juicy. The honey obviously has the honey, so it's a little sweetness. I would say the original is a little bit more that classic tangy tomato-based flavor. And what's great about it is it's all about highlighting that delicious pork. And I think, you know, when you think about Al Bubba Baker, he was inspired actually by his wife. He was a foodie after he played in the NFL.
He played football for...
Yep, and he had a restaurant, but his wife loved the barbecue, but guess what? She didn't like the mess. And I got to be honest with you, I love ribs, but oftentimes when I'm out, I won't order them just because it's such a mess.
Well, you do have to put your hands into it, and that's the thing. Or you end up losing and missing out on the meat. And if you buy them yourself, then you always pay for the bone because they're done by weight.
Exactly.
This, you're getting 3 18-ounce slabs of the boneless rib. So what you're getting is literally all meat.
100%
And to your point, the flavors of the barbecue sauces or the seasoning are very, very mild. So talk to us. I know you're making a delicious sandwich, but talk to us about like preparation and what we do when we get them home.
So this was the beauty of this. This comes to you fully cooked. Now, I just made a sandwich, which, by the way, you could never do with traditional ribs because there's no bone. So I just put the meat right on the bun, put my lid on there, and I have a sandwich. But this is how they come to you, fully cooked. Okay, again, all that hard work, all that 8 to 10 hours of cooking, the dry rub. And the beauty of it is when the bones come out of this at the end, they pack it with the sauce, so the sauce goes into those little channels where the bones were. So it's literally marinating it from the inside out. You take this out from frozen, thaw it, put it into the oven to warm it up. I always recommend if you do it in the oven at the end, you put the broiler on to caramelize it. But here's the thing. We have, what, Labor Day coming up? You want to throw these on the grill. You could do them a quick flash on the grill to heat them up because you're just heating these up. You're not cooking.
Thaw them out first, but then make sure you can throw them on the grill
100%,
or put them in the oven really quick. And you know what you're looking at is 18 ounces. So how many servings? We're talking about
Think about that.
For each one of them, a 4-ounce serving of meat.
You're getting about 4 servings per rack.
Per rack.
Because you're not, like we said, and it doesn't matter where I cut into this rib, and I'm just going to turn this sideways. It's because there's no bones, it's 100% meat. So you get that incredible, juicy, delicious meat.
Look how tender that meat
I mean,
is.
look
Before
at
you
this.
even put any additional sauce on
Look at
there, you
that.
can see how moist it is. It's cooked. When the bone can come out, that means that it is cooked thoroughly and moist and fork tender. All right, so here's the thing.
Oh, look at that.
We have the original flavor. Talk to us about that.
So the original flavor, again, it's a tomato, vinegar, molasses, kind of a little bit of a tangy flavor.
Okay.
And again, not overwhelming the sauce. You still get the great pork flavor. And then the honey has that little hint of sweetness. So if you
Right.
have something that has a little bit more sweetness, then go with the honey. But you can't go wrong because, you know, when you think about a great rack of ribs, first of all, I always love starting with the baby back because, like, you know, a lot of people consider that the filet mignon of the ribs, right?
Rib, yeah.
Most tender. And once we've done all that cooking, that dry rub, that marinating, that slow roasting with the applewood, the bones come out so you get all that great, delicious flavor without all the work of the bone.
So we have what, about 700 in the original and about 700 in, oh, I'm sorry, 600 in the original and 700 in the honey barbecue, and that's it. And once again, the hard work has already been done. You don't have to stand and watch and babysit.
No.
It's all done, ready to go. All you got to do is thaw them out and heat them up.
Imagine, you know, we have football season coming right upon us. I mean, think about all the tailgating. Imagine being able to serve award-winning ribs, but without the bones. You take this out, throw it on a light grill to warm it up, because again, it's fully cooked. You're just heating and eating it, and then you can make sandwiches. You know what I also love to do? I chop this up, put it in a mac and cheese.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because remember, you're not paying for the bones. So look at all this meat. This is just a couple of little pieces. I've got an entire portion to make a sandwich.
I'm looking at taco. I'm looking
Tacos,
at
carnitas.
your taut nachos.
Exactly, the
Love
tachos.
The tachos. I love the idea of the pork bake with the
mac and
cheese.
cheese.
I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. But most importantly, you're getting 18 times 3. What is that? In my head, I can't do it.
54 ounces.
Thank you. Of delicious, already cooked, boneless ribs. The bones are in there during the cooking process, and then they're removed with a special process so that all the juices and all the barbecue sauce gets into the nooks and crannies, and what you get is a tender, boneless bite of pure, delicious pork. So in each option now, we have 500 remaining.
Oh,
so
wow.
the countdown has begun. Please don't wait. And yes, this will ship in time for Labor Day. The price on this is going to go up at the end of the show. And the 5 Easy Pay offer goes away as well at the end of the show.
And you know what? A good rib is fall off the bone. Well, in this case, the bone's not there. But just look at this. I have a fork here. I'm not even using a knife. I'm going right into the rib. You can see when it's done right, the meat literally just melts in your mouth, falls apart. But I don't even need a knife. I can just take my fork, and I get a delicious bite of that gorgeous, just fall apart, melt in your mouth pork. And God, by the way, Jane, these are the only people, this is a patented process that they designed to be able to remove the bone after cooking the rack on the bones.
It's not a rib that has been formed to
not
look
at all.
like a boneless rib.
Not at all.
This is the actual baby back slab that is slow basted and cooked.
That's right.
And then through that process, the bones are removed. So when you bake and cook and saute and braise and smoke with the bones in there, that's when you get the extra flavor, and you get that smoke ring on the inside. And that's what makes these so good. They're tender and delicious. I mean, the flavor permeates the entire bite. They're just good.
Now when I think about it, I say, you know what? All the best part, you're eating it to eat the meat, right?
Right.
The fact that they can take the bone out, and now that every single bite that I take is that delicious slow smoke. And by the way, applewood, they chose applewood because it's not as heavy of a wood flavor, so you really get that great balance.
It's a very familiar wood smoke
Yeah,
flavor.
it's a little sweet. There's a little sweetness to it, but it doesn't dominate. So you still taste the deliciousness of the pork. You still get that great little bit of smoke, and then you get that beautiful flavor from the slow cooking and the dry rub and the marinade.
Man, get yourself a really good roll.
My goodness.
And put this on a sandwich with the coleslaw. I mean,
about
that's restaurant quality. That's what you want.
All we did was cut a piece off, and I like what you said. 3 18-ounce racks, right? That is probably about 12 servings because you're literally you're eating all the meat, and this is what you can do. You could never make a sandwich with traditional ribs. I love this feature, and I love the fact that I throw them on the grill to warm them up. I throw them in the oven to warm them. They're fully cooked. There's nothing to do.
We have about 300 in each choice. So I'm sorry, 400 in each choice. The original. Or that honey barbecue, and 93468 is your item number. Only show at this price, so we'll keep you updated. You've got less than 30 minutes now to take advantage of that price. Love the flavors
Oh my gosh.
of that sauce too, Rick. Thank
Perfect.
you so much.
Thanks,
Always a
Jane.
pleasure.
Bye-bye.
All right, so next up, we've got something for the sweet tooth.
This is not just something for the sweet tooth, though. This is kind of like a delicacy, especially how it comes to you. These are your Swiss